Yeah, come on. Welcome to Wednesday. It's Tone the Bone here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Later on tonight, it is Live Wire Wednesday. It's our most listened to show from an international footprint, brought to you by Southern Precision Staffing for all your staffing needs, construction, otherwise anything else. Kai Gregory staff, fantastic. They've been on the air with us for over 2 years. 205-682-2828, 205-682-2828 for all your staffing needs. 8 o'clock tonight, it's all ACDC for an entire hour. We got like 47,000 people that listen in Sydney, Australia. The Ukraine gets after it every Wednesday night. They love their ACDC, man. I mean, that would make me want to go to war. I'm listening to Highway to Hell and some Back in Black, some great deep cuts later on tonight, 8 o'clock. Also, Mission Minded with Michael Coleman, a great show from the CEO of the Montgomery Food Bank, will join us on the show on Tony Curry Radio Live. The TKR app, download the TKR app, or wherever you get your podcasts, search Tony Curry Radio. You'll see Audio Boom or Spotify. You can listen to all of our shows. It's fantastic. You know who Edie McClurg is? Edie McClurg was the receptionist in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She was also, in one of the funniest roles I ever saw, she was also the gal in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when she's at the rental car thing. One of the funniest scenes I've ever seen. If you can see the unedited version where she's dropping the F-bombs, it's one of, this is like turkey. She's one of the funniest gals in all of television and of movies. I love her. She turned 77 a few weeks ago, and evidently a guy moved in with her who's a vagrant who has no money, no job, and they met, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, and evidently they were trying to arrest him yesterday for trying to take her outside the state lines of California to marry her. Now, Edie, she's one of the celebrities that you just don't think a whole lot about, but whenever you see her, like, you just know it's going to be a great movie. We got to protect our Edie McClurgs of the world. She's got dementia. She's got some other mental incapacitations going on again at the age of 77. So her family's freaking out. And I don't even know this guy. I don't know what the situation is, but he sounds like a total creep. Leave Edie McClurg alone. All right. Also, Vin Scully passed away yesterday. I was listening to the Kip Keefer show, which you can hear on Fridays here, and also podcast. It's called Need to Know. He went off on Pete Rose this last week. Also talked about Bill Russell. Again, the show will air on the Friday morning. Vin Scully passed away yesterday, and of course, the longtime announcer of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and one of a dying breed. He's just unbelievable. And you know, I don't think people really understand what it was like in the 70s and 80s when all you could do is listen to baseball games on the radio. I had a radio on the left-hand side of my 10-speed. I would listen to Marty and Joe, Marty Brenneman, who just recently turned 80, and Joe Nuxall, who, by the way, was the youngest pitcher to ever pitch in a Major League Baseball game. He was 15. And I listened to those guys, man, 4 or 5 nights a week, every time there was a Cincinnati Reds game. And I grew up listening to that. Vin Scully, the Reds and the Dodgers hated each other. Vin Scully, of course, would call the Dodgers games. And so whenever I got a chance to hear Vin Scully, and, you know, you'll hear a lot of old radio guys. Tony Page, good morning to you. You'll hear a lot of old radio guys saying, you know, what were some of the great voices, whether it be the Al Michaels, the Bob Costases. I know some people are talking about the Joe Bucks, some of your old radio announcers. And it's almost like hearing your dad's voice. You know what I mean? It was just that, and I don't know if there's anybody like that anymore. That everyone's so crass, so opinionated. Vin just called the games as he saw it. He was fantastic. Was he pro Dodgers? Sure he was. But the guy would just get after it, and he was just so fantastic. And, man, when he passed away yesterday, it kind of bummed me out a little bit. Whenever I heard Vin Scully, it was like having a big old plate of mashed potatoes. I mean, I just knew it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be comforting. I knew for the next 3.5 hours, I was going to get a great call, regardless of whether I like the Dodgers or not. Vin Scully passes away yesterday. And anyone who listened and watched sports like I did back in the 70s and 80s, and if you're in your 50s and up, man, you're with me. You're like, wow, we lost a big one there with Vin Scully. Saw yesterday that Beavis and Butthead have a brand new series coming out. Of course, they just had a new movie, Beavis and Butthead Do Space, is it? Or Do Outer Space. That came out on Paramount Plus. I haven't seen it yet. I saw Beavis and Butthead Do America. I thought it was fantastic. Top 5 movie all time. If you just go into it, know what you're going to expect, it's fantastic. Like the guys from South Park said about Mike Judge, who created Beavis and Butthead, it's like blues music. It's the same shit over and over and over again, but it's great. So you just keep watching it. It's funny. So they're coming out with a brand new series, which is going to be airing on Paramount Plus. It's going to be Beavis and Butthead 11 years after their last show, after the last movie. And a lot of people are like, dude, have we not had enough? And I'm like, absolutely not. And the other thing is that Michael Judge was asked, are they going to be politically correct? No. That's the whole idea. That's why I'll be watching. Last night, I was bebopping around the TV, and I saw Nikki Glaser, or Glasser, should I say. She's a Cincinnati gal, and she's a comedian. And she had a television special on HBO called Good Clean Filth. Normally, I won't watch nasty female comedians. Now, I go into a comedy show and knowing I just put it all out there, man. I take all my walls down. I take all my biases away. Anything I think about anything, and I just let it go. And if I'm laughing, it's a great show. I don't care if it's politically correct. I don't care what they're talking about. I don't care if it's Dave Chappelle. I don't care about if it's funny, it's funny. The funniest jokes are when you hear something and you're like, ooh, but you're laughing at it inside. Something to be said about that. And so I'm watching the show, and she went on about 45 minutes about her vagina. And normally I would go, oh, yeah. It was hilarious. And what I found so hilarious about it was, first of all, I was sitting alone. If I was in a group of people, it would have to be a special group of people to watch Nikki Glasser do comedy. I'm just telling you, if you've ever seen her, she's striking. She's fun to look at, but she's really, really funny, and she's famous. She's got her own HBO special. But what I come to find out is when you hear stuff, and this kind of goes along with the Beavis and Butthead thing, when you hear and see stuff that really takes you out of your comfort zone, like really makes you feel uncomfortable, and just let it go, sometimes you really find out a lot about yourself. And a great comedian can do that. Now, I don't know how much that stuff on stage she was saying was true. It certainly sounded like it was true if you have not seen it, and you think you got the balls to watch it. Women love it because she's talking about the women's anatomy, and there's only so many places you can go when you're talking about vaginas and blah blah blah. It was hilarious. It was great. And so I'm going to watch the Beavis and Butthead thing with the same intent, and that is, let your guard down. Don't be so opinionated. You're sitting by yourself. There's not a group of people there. You don't need to get on social media and start spewing out, oh, this is horrible. I didn't like what Dave Chappelle said, or I don't like Nikki Glaser said, or did you see that Beavis and Butthead were talking about making fires or whatever? Margaret Bailey, good morning to you. And the more I kind of let myself go, at first I was like, do I really want to see a female comedian talking about her vagina? I was like, and in a weird kind of way, I was kind of excited because men don't hear that word a whole lot. It was pretty good, actually. And so the more I watched it, the funnier it got. And I actually learned something about the women's anatomy. I never knew. I mean, there were some things in there. I'm 56 years old. I thought I knew it all. All guys think they know it all. I thought, wow, that's some information here that I never realized. So go into some of these things, and listen, if you're not a Beavis and Butthead fan, I get it. If you're not into nasty humor, that's fine, whatever. But if you do find yourself, I like to put myself in dangerous situations as long as the only person I can hurt is me. And sometimes you learn a lot about yourself when you put yourself and listen to things that are really, really, really outside your comfort zone and make you feel incredibly uncomfortable. Give it a shot. See what happens. See if you grow just a little bit. Finally, before we get into one other thing here, I got so much stuff going on here at Tony Curry Radio. It's stinking crazy. You see these Capital One commercials? I heard Kip Keefer talking about pharmaceutical companies and talking about gold and silver. He's like, hell, if everyone's trying to sell you gold and silver right now, what does that tell you? It takes currency to buy gold and silver. If you're buying gold and silver, there's a reason why they want you to buy it. It's because it's a ripoff, right? It's like Bitcoin right now. These Capital One commercials where they take individual businesses and they use them as their endorsements, as their commercials. Brian Pia, good morning, Brian. Dude, if I see another flippin' Antonelli's cheese shop commercial, I'm going to take forks and just twist in my eyes and just pop my eyeballs out. Dude, what kind of money did Capital One have to give the Antonelli's cheese place? Every time I turn the TV on, we're the Antonelli's. We do cheese. We think it's cheesy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't get... And I thought, well, maybe it's because I'm watching the same channels. It is on every stinking channel across every platform on every TV screen in my house. I got the Antonelli's. The first time I saw it, I thought, this is a really good commercial. They're talking about cash back for the Capital One card. Is it just me? every time and this morning I'm on ESPN.com and I get an Antonelli's commercial and I'm like, Capital One, do you not have other people that use your card you can use it as endorsement? So, of course, I went to the Antonelli's fine cheese shop this morning just to see if it was real, and it was, and I ordered some brie and some stuff with blue crap on it. Hey, don't forget to take care of all of our great sponsors. I want to say a big howdy-ho to Chris Dorse from Chris Dorse's State Farm team. Chris is long recognized as a top 10 agent out of 18,500 agencies out of State Farm's family in this country, and we have them right here in Birmingham, Alabama. Everywhere you go, we can save you $600. We can save you $800. You get what you pay for. Blah, 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 blah. State Farm's got the brand. It's got the name. And now you got the agent who is the best of the best. I would put Chris Dorse up against anybody in this country. And I don't care if it's Liberty. I don't care who the hell it is. State Farm is the best. I've been with them since 1988. I've never had an issue with them. They're super cool. They send me birthday cards. They're proud sponsors, of course, of Tony Kurre Live and TKR, and I love them. 985-7799, 985-7799. Check out Chris Dorse's State Farm team. Also, our brand new sponsor here, it is CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. I haven't seen you on this morning, Al. Brad, David, Shane, Dakota, Jeremiah, Al, they all do a wonderful job up there. I've been talking about cars for over 40 years. I've probably done 75 car remotes. I've probably done 75 car endorsements. I've done stuff for everyone in town, the big dealers, the small dealers, everything else. And so Al reached out to me and said, come up and take a look at my lot. Just let me know what you think. And if you like it, maybe we could do some business. So I drove it to Sylacauga. Anytime 25 to 50 cars on the lot, which be honest with you, I kind of like going into a restaurant and not having a menu that folds out like a Playboy. I don't need a menu that is 4 feet long. Just tell me what you're best at, and I'll pick and choose from those things because I know I'm going to get a great meal. That's what it's like at Coosa Valley Auto. They have 25 to 50 cars. None of those vehicles in the lot are on the lot for more than 2 or 3 days. So what does that tell you? I mean, they're wheeling and dealing, man. They're getting these cars in. They're getting them back out again. The great thing about it, and I brought this up, if you buy a car from Coosa Valley Auto and there's an issue with it, bring it back and they'll fix it for free. No labor, just parts. How about that? And Al just chimed in. So check it out. It's fantastic. They're open, say 10 to 4:30, but I'll bet you if you call Al right now at 7:35, he'll probably answer your phone. 256-267-0296, 256-267-0296, 256-267-0296, or better yet, go to CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. Check out all the pictures of all the cars. And again, if you're on there and you don't see a car on there, it's probably because it's already gone. So get up there, and the great thing is they have fresh inventory, 10, 15, 20 cars coming through the lot every single day, so you're always getting fresh inventory. Great deal. I drive a 2013 Honda Odyssey. I'm going to drive the wheels off that thing, but I'm going to trade it in and go get me a pickup truck. I need a pickup truck from CoosaValleyAutoSale.com, CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. Check it out. It's great. And tell Al and the guys that Tony Kurre sent you. All right, have yourself a fantastic day. Thanks again for watching this morning. Make sure you check out all of our great shows. Dark Side of the Pooch. Adapter Paris last night was fantastic, talking about going global. It was wonderful last night at 8 o'clock with Dr. Alex Hublin and Dr. Josh Claypo. We got Mission Minded with Michael Coleman, formerly the Jimmy Home Mission, now with the Montgomery Food Bank. We have Livewire Wednesday, 8 o'clock tonight. Have no clue what the show is going to be about tonight, but it'll be a thematic type of thing. Last week we did All Highway to Hell. It was fantastic. And then, of course, on Thursdays, Blues Almighty with Austin Hanks. ZZ Top coming back to Birmingham in September. Damon Johnson show coming up on Friday. We also have When in Rome with Stuart Rome, the Woodhouse Day Spa, and of course the brand new Kip Keefer show and his new show called Wanna Bet, which is going to be starting here in a couple weeks. We get ready for college football season. We'll have all those shows. Go to Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, listen to Tony Kurre Radio, and download that TKR app, man. You do me a huge favor by downloading the TKR app. It's free. I promise you're going to love it. It's great classic rock and roll. We got some really cool things we're going to be doing over the next few weeks. Including Yacht Rock weekends and more. So make sure you continue to listen right here and have yourself a blessed day. And thanks for watching. Love you.